We've been in contact with the city. As you know, they did not give us a permit. They are trying to cajole us into the same situation as in August. They've set up a pen for us. They're expecting that we walk down, that they're going to search us, that they're going to take our flags and signs and flagpoles. We're not going to consent to that. They need to apply the same conditions that they apply to us, to everyone. So the good guys who are not violent should not be stripped and have everything taken away, while the bad guys who are violent get to walk around with no consequences. So when we get down there, we're going to try to negotiate. We are not consenting to search. We are not consenting to giving up our flags. We are not consenting to giving up our flagpoles. And we're not consenting to giving up our signs.
So do you want to tell us about the hearing you had yesterday? Or?
Yeah, we saw the preliminary injunction. We wanted, what happened in August, I was stopped from speaking by the police. They wouldn't let me into the Parkman bandstand. They didn't allow the audience anywhere near. They didn't allow the media in, and they didn't allow amplification. They also didn't give us a permit for today, even though the website said it was free and it looked like there was viewpoint discrimination. So I saw an injunction making sure that we were allowed to speak, that I was allowed to speak, that it wouldn't be interfered with, that the media wouldn't be interfered with, and the right to amplification. And so what happened is the judge basically said, well, the city said they wouldn't violate that, but I didn't agree with it, but it does look like the city so far is behaving. But they had behaved poorly before, improperly before, so usually in those types of cases an injunction should issue. So that's what that injunction was about. The underlying lawsuit is for the violations of my free speech rights. In August, the police stopped me from speaking. The video's up on my website, on my Facebook page. It's well known the media wasn't allowed to cover the event. There's been all types of articles on the internet about that. And the audience wasn't allowed anywhere near it. So with the combination of the deprivation of the amplification system and not allowing an audience in and not allowing the media in, it was basically just a bunch of people speaking, and about the only means of disseminating information to the world was recording it and putting it on Facebook. So it was a disastrous day for the First Amendment, which is kind of an ironic thing to have happen at a free speech rally. So that's what the lawsuit's about. I also sued on behalf of Brandon Navam-Wazir because they kept calling the organizers and the invitees Nazis and white supremacists, and they weren't. No, I'm a lefty. I'm, as you can see, a Bernie Sanders progressive. I fought for sanctuary city petitions in the city of Pittsfield. I had a transgender bill for public facilities in the city of Pittsfield, banning styrofoam, single-use plastic bags throughout Berkshire County, animal rights stuff, all types of progressive causes, and I wasn't allowed to speak. And that's what happens is when they suppress the speech of conservatives, then they suppress the speech of progressives. And that's actually, if you look at Gallo versus New York, where a lot of this started, they were going after socialists. They weren't going after fascists, and they started suppressing speech there, and it's not a good thing. And especially when we start attacking people that are conservative as Nazis and people that are socialist as Marxist, and you start attaching negative labels, and then it justifies the very oppressive behavior, whether it's a suppression of free speech or if it's violence.
And did you want to talk about, just elaborate more? I just wasn't so sure I was clear. You had the hearing yesterday after final injunction weeks ago, and that was like an emergency hearing from what I understand?
I recently filed. It was kind of, I don't want to call it an emergency. It was, I guess no one called it an emergency hearing, but obviously for it to have any meaning, it would have to have happened yesterday about a rally today. And I was in front of Judge Ponser. And the city, showed up, and there was a discussion about all the potential for violence, and so basically, I was a little bit disappointed. I thought there was a preoccupation about the issue of permits. I wanted a little bit more focus on the fact that I was stopped before, and I don't want to be stopped today, and I don't want interference with the media. But who knows? Even though I didn't get the injunction that I wanted, I see a lot better behavior on the part of the police department. So I think it may have elicited the positive change that I was looking for anyhow. So in that sense, it's a victory. We'll see what happens. But it looks pretty good so far.
And what are your thoughts about the fact that you filed your injunction and weren't able to have a hearing until the day before the rally?
No, I'm happy he had a hearing.
Happy you had a hearing at all, but
Yeah, I'm happy I had a hearing. The lawsuit wasn't filed a long time ago. I'm no complaints.
Okay.
I'm just happy he had a hearing. Let me tell you, I disagree with him on a lot of. I could see we just disagree on some stuff. I think that if you're basically not allowing people a permit or the opportunity to speak because of how others will react, that, in my opinion, a legal opinion, is a heckler's veto under the First Amendment. So we may differ there, but he read the briefs. He was familiar with the complaint. He was very courteous. He let us speak for a long time, so I'm thankful for that.